All right. Hi, I'm Rich,
And I'm Robin.
and we're talking about 18. Oh my God, I forgot the title.
18 in the Bay.
18 in the Bay. Thank you. I'll pull that up in a second. Um, I don't know. What did you think about the website there?
So overall, I thought it was really cool that this was put together for a project for high school seniors, and they got to share a series of projects, their writing, their pictures, things like that. And so I thought it was really cool to have this space for them just to share about themselves.
Yeah, that's cool. Honestly, I didn't realize this was a project. I thought this was something they were trying to put out to, um, to the Bay Area kids.
Well, so I saw it was really hard to find the like about section and it was very short. So I think if you go, um, where did I even go? So like I went to home and then I had to go way, way, way down to the very bottom and it like keeps loading more and more and more until
Oh,
you
I
finally
see.
get to the bottom. And then it says about 18 in the Bay.
Ah,
And then when you click on that, yeah, it just shows like very short that this guy worked with a class of high school seniors in the San Francisco Bay Area to answer the question, what's it like to be 18 now? Um, so yeah, so I guess he did it for a project, but it doesn't go into that much detail about what what more they did or like why they did it or how they did it. So
right.
I was curious um, of yeah, you can see that most of the posts are just from this like May, June timeframe.
Right.
So I was wondering if they were allowed to, or if they even had the option of like continuing to post, because this seems like something that would be ongoing, or was it like closed after the semester?
Yeah, I don't know. That my main question of all of this is it seemed powerful. There were parts of it that were really powerful.
Hmm.
And how do you get that out to a city and allow that to be, you
Yeah.
know, because some of the stories that were shared were, you know, people needed to talk, and I think it gave a great opportunity for kids to be heard.
Right. Well, and like, was the purpose of this just for the students in this group to share their stories like with each other, or was it then going to be shared like outside of their group? I don't really know.
I don't know, but it seemed like this is something you'd want to get out. You'd want people to participate in. You'd want kids to want to, do.
Yeah, I thought it would be something like it looks like they, like if I were to try this, it would be a lot of work to get the ball rolling and to really make it you
Right.
know, detailed, and they've got a lot of information here. So I was kind of surprised to see that it looked like it just stopped.
I know, and I saw some in 2016 also. Yeah, it
Really?
started in 2015, obviously. I
Right.
saw a few in 2016, but not much. And people maybe went back on and tried more. Or
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking like I definitely want to share this with my students. I think they would like it a lot. Um, a few parts in particular that I thought, made me think my students would like is, well, one, it said the 18 in the Bay poll, and it kind of showed behind the scenes of who contributed to this site, the demographics and all of that.
right.
Um, sorry, I was gonna let you get there. I think where was it? The
Is this
poll.
in maybe not a stat,
No, it was. Hmm.
which was also very cool. Right.
Yeah, that one was cool. I liked how it brought in kind of like math and visual stuff into their storytelling. That's like a really cool cross content. So if you go to the home page, click
Mhm.
home, and then scroll down a little bit. It says, you can see yeah, right there. So, yeah, seeing like the gender, ethnicity, like the family background of all the students. You know, a lot of their parents were not born in the U.S. And
Right.
just what are they nervous about? What are they scared of? What's you know, what do they do with their days? And I think that seeing that, like if I were to give this to my students, they would see that they could really relate to these students.
Right.
I think the demographics are pretty similar. So I think that would draw them in right there and make them be more interested in reading the stories.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and I just, it seemed to me there was a lot to get through, right? You know,
Oh yeah.
for a couple of classes, I don't know how many kids participated, but
Right.
some of them had like 56 likes, and so quite a few. It may have been a whole senior class kind of thing.
Yeah, I saw on the like on that about page, if you had scrolled down, you could see all the contributors, and it was a really long list.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was probably like a whole class, a whole grade level class.
Yeah, it's a cool thing, and I wonder if the kids themselves decided what to make, which of these um, kind of main menus to do.
Right.
The
Yeah,
press play, my mixtape.
yeah. I was wondering that too, like if they, you know, if they had to do a certain number of them, even within each one, within each category, there was a lot of room for them to take it their own direction and really make it, you know, what they wanted. So that was cool. I thought well, in some of them, like the our high school urban dictionary and the survival guide to high school
Right.
was those were each like one polished piece that I was wondering if, you know, a bunch of the kids contributed a definition for the dictionary or one piece of advice, and then
Right.
one person or a few people had to compile it all into this, you know, post, because all the other ones you can see where the individuals posted their stories.
Yeah, and the language was much more formal in this,
Yeah, definitely.
in the survival guide. And it was funny. I was reading through, and I was like, it almost doesn't match the rest of everything else,
Yeah.
and I didn't know if people were going to read it or take it, but that might have been a final type. It did. It felt like a final project where everything else was do it from the heart.
Right.
You know.
Well, and the list of contributors showed that there was one editor, and so I don't know, you know, what exactly the roles were and the expectations. I'd be really interested to have more background information of like the logistics of how this really
Right.
worked.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how they, if this was a high school kind of project, they got some real honesty here.
Yeah.
Especially in story of my life stories.
Yeah.
Some real honesty, and they allowed it all to be, part of this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Some of these were very powerful. I found this to be the most open and honest and powerful
Yeah.
piece here. The story of my life. I was trying to find how many, and not a ton of contributors.
Right.
Oh well, maybe I lied.
It seems like as you're scrolling down, it just loads more and more and more.
Yeah. So I don't know if everyone was supposed to contribute to each one. I don't. It's a great idea, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it.
Yeah.
Two ways: how to make it work for a classroom, but
Mm-hmm.
also how to get this, to be the voice, have the voice of people. You have I love this kind of blog where everyone is blogging, you know. And I'm sure there are sites like this, but I like the way they laid it out. I like that the menus they picked.
Well, and I noticed they're using Medium, which is what I've been using for my blog posts for this class.
Right.
But whoever did it obviously has some technical knowledge of this because it's formatted so like professionally.
Yeah.
But
I think this would be important for any either middle school or high school,
mhm,
you know, group to participate in.
yeah.
To be heard, you know, it's a great way to be heard. My mixtape was great, you know, when they posted YouTube videos of the songs they liked, and then a little description of why they would have chosen that song.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I liked that. Um, I thought so like thinking about, how we would actually use this, and I know a lot of times like senior English curriculum at some of the high schools I've been in have kind of this portfolio project where they're adding different pieces throughout the semester and the year.
Right.
So I could see how this could easily work with that because this is just like an authentic digital portfolio collaborating together rather than every individual portfolio.
Yeah.
And I think like I would love to do this with my students and set something up like it, which besides like the logistics of actually like formatting this, I could see how I could work in the different projects and different topics, and they have their writing and time to share and get feedback and revise and all that. But I think it would fit best with like our senior curriculum or
Right.
topics, which I don't teach seniors, so.
I don't know. It could be a good end of the year project for any, writing class for sure.
Yeah, I guess like on a smaller scale, uh, it
Right.
could definitely be worked in. I'm envisioning this big, huge thing of like, it will go through the whole year or semester and everything will like tie back to it.
Right. And well, you could do that too. I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the whole idea, and it feels like all the kids had a say in how it was set up and what
Yeah.
went in it and what the different things were. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very in their voice.
Yes.
And I think that makes it so much more impactful. Uh, their peers are going to want to read it and they'll probably take all of it to heart more, knowing that it's not adults trying to tell them this stuff, but that it's their peers.
Right. And that was interesting. Every once in a while, there was an adult voice in there, and I did like there was getting perspective. So getting perspective was a really
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh, yeah. That
Uh,
was really cool.
yeah, here's one senioritis, but there's one from grandma. Little reminder from Granny. And so I
Yeah.
think someone's grandmother actually wrote this. And I thought that was cute. But then there, interview with my only friend, where were you born? Guadalajara, Mexico.
Yeah.
How does it feel being born outside the U.S.? So I thought that was really powerful.
I mean, yeah, just look at all the skills of the things that we want our kids to come away with.
Yes.
Um, they're doing all of it here, but in a way that is actually like meaningful and authentic to them. They've got their interview skills, they've got different forms of writing, more informative, narrative, reflective, all these different parts coming together, but it's
Yeah.
not, your traditional way.
No, there's digital storytelling with my mixtape and utilizing video and music. You know.
The dictionary definitions, like
Yeah.
this is like every aspect of English language arts mixed into one. I mean, I guess as far as especially like writing aspects.
Yeah. Storytelling. I mean, it's all storytelling. you know,
Yeah.
um, which kids are very good at these days because, they're online all the time putting themselves out there.
Hmm.
Oh, and they even have, what was the day to day,
Hmm.
they have the whole, just snapshots of their life.
Yeah.
Um, Very interesting. I don't know. And it seems pretty wide open. They weren't, um, there wasn't a lot of teacher involvement in content, you know,
Right.
and which is great. I mean, they were letting the kids be kids.
Yeah.
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 Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking, I was interested, the few I saw in 2016, I'm interested to see if that was people from the class adding later.
Oh,
They only
yeah.
did it once because it was all done in 2015, but I saw a few.
Right. And well, like we were talking about earlier, well, this says it has 4.2 thousand
I
followers.
saw that.
So they must have gotten it out somehow, but I guess, we don't know too much on the history of it.
Yeah. Well, I may have to email the teacher, go to the about page and see who the
Yeah.
contact is.
That's a good idea. I never think of like actually contacting people like this, but no, like I'm thinking, tomorrow's the first day before we go on Thanksgiving break, and I think I'm going to show this website to my classes and just say like, "Hey guys, I came across this really cool thing, and I think you might be interested." And if you are on your phones and stuff anyway, you could explore it. And I think I'll definitely start by doing that and just letting them see this because I think they'd
Yeah.
really like it. But I would love in the future to actually do this myself in my classroom.
Yeah, I keep thinking how much I can get away with in middle school, but I think
Oh,
they can do this. I mean, I think they can still do something like this. They still want to
oh,
be
yeah.
heard. Plenty.
Definitely. Yeah, they definitely could. I mean, the content of what they're posting would probably be a lot different than some of these posts. And
It would
I don't
be.
know that I would necessarily give this site to my middle schoolers, at least at my last school, my middle schoolers.
I would be in charge of sharing what to share on it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But, uh, but yeah,
Yeah, it's very cool.
idea.
All right. Yeah, I think I think my goal is to find out how this was done. I think the logistics are really important because, and
Yeah.
they only did it one year, so I'm wondering, are they going to try to do it every other year, or was it just too
Yeah.
big? You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just the logistics. I want to know more too on the background and how it worked and what did the teacher end up saying? Like how did it work for him and what was the students' perspectives on how it worked
Right.
and go from there.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You have any other closing comments?
No, I think that's good. I enjoyed this topic. I'm glad we got to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna pause it.